It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Brewdog and it's with Mikkeller, and this is the Urban Fog New England IPA coming in at 6.5% ABV. There's a look at the can, 440ml can, 6.5% ABV. I'm quite excited by this. This has launched into... I picked it up in Sainsbury's. I don't know if it's a Sainsbury's exclusive, but I picked it up in Sainsbury's whilst I was there. It was £3 a can. Without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass, see what we get. Cool, back... I remember being in Poland, in Wrocław in Poland, with my good friend and now retired beer blogger, Tomek Kapira, back in 2014, summer 2014. And we reviewed a beer with Mikkeller and Brewdog. It was one of the expensive kind of stouts that they used to do back in the day. It was like a 19% ABV stout. I can't even remember the name of the beer, but there was so much excitement from myself and Tomek Kapira to review that beer. And fast forward, that was 2014, that was 2021. Fast forward 7 years, and you got the same two brewers brewing beer together for the supermarket shelves in the UK. That's either a really exciting thing, or if it's not great beer, it could be a disappointing thing. It might show the kind of the fall of where these two breweries really drew a lot of excitement years ago. Now it might be a little bit of... But I'm not... It almost looks like that I'm already writing this beer off before I've even tried it. That's not the case. I'm just talking about sheer excitement levels from years ago from these two breweries. These two breweries back in the day were rocking it. Everybody wanted to try their beer. One Finger, Whitehead, an orangey, pale, ambery coloured, hazy looking beer. Nice and hazy, good levels of carbonation on the beer. Slow moving carbonation, not masses of carbonation. It looks like a good New England IPA. Let's get the aroma. It smells okay. It smells okay. Pineapple, grapefruit, passion fruit. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Smelled really amazing. The aroma on the beer was fantastic. But it seems impossible these days to get away from the Brewdog twang. There's a certain taste, and I'm going to say water. I'm going to say water. Where they've moved to in Ellen. Since they moved to Ellen, it must be... Literally must be something in the water. It's just a certain... It's got a Brewdog stamp on it. It tastes like a Brewdog beer. A bit like a Marston's beer tastes like a Marston's beer. You know, they're famous for that kind of Burtonisation. It's the Burton water. It makes a Marston's beer. And I think the same idea, the same philosophy now lands at Brewdog's doorstep with the brewing water in Ellen. It's really difficult for me to be able to... I could close my eyes. I could drink a Brewdog beer with a blindfold on. And it's not so much in the aroma. It's not so much in the aroma. It's more in the taste. It's very Brewdog. It's almost, if I was to try and describe it, it's almost like a tinniness. It's almost like they've got their own tinniness going on, which they would hate to hear. They would hate to be labelled with that, because that is exactly what Brewdog were trying to get away from. They were trying to get away from tinny beer, but all they've landed up doing is becoming such a large company now that they're trying to escape the clutches of tinny beer, but they're just falling into the arms of it. They really are. Yes, you've got your flavours of passion fruit and mango and grapefruit. And I said it when Cloudwater released their Tesco range of beers, only 2 weeks ago. I said it in the Cloudwater beers, because the Cloudwater beers are contract brewed in Ellen, in Brewdog. It's all contract brewed in Scotland, at Brewdog's factory in Ellen. I said, this just tastes like a Brewdog beer. There's no getting away from it now. And I was really surprised. I was really surprised with Cloudwater that they would make that decision. Make that decision to contract brew the beer with a brewery that has such a distinct taste to it these days. It's so Brewdog. And just to talk about Mikkeller for a little bit. I mean, we're talking about years ago and very recently with Cloudwater, some of the best breweries in the world. I remember back in the day, Mikkeller made his name because he had such fantastic recipes for beer. Breweries would write him emails and he would answer the emails. They'd be asking him, begging him, paying for him to write recipes for them. To write recipes for the brewery's beers, and he'd become that inundated with people asking him to produce recipes for other breweries that he decided to open up his own brewery. And I can't fault that at all. I can't fault that. But I wonder what the great Mikkeller would think of this beer. Apart from the Queen's heads on the note, you know, the money coming his way. If you were to take that away, if you were to take the financial aspect away and ask him truthfully, what would he think of this beer? I'm sure Mikkeller would be standing here saying the same thing, that this could be Brewdog versus Cloudwater, this could be Hazy Jane, this could be a hazy version of Punk IPA. It's all very samey. It's very difficult to get away from it. It's all very samey. It's like the same party trick coming out year after year, but they're just changing the names on the front of the can. And it's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. Brewdog started my journey in craft beer, really. I used to buy regular supermarket beers, bottled beers for £1 in the supermarket back in the day, reviewing them on YouTube. And I remember having a bottle of Punk IPA that was sent to me by my brewery tap back in 2010. The reviews on YouTube. It was an amazing beer. It was a really, really good quality beer. And it made me, my eyes opened up to to craft beer in a way that it probably never would have done ever if it wasn't for trying Punk IPA back in 2010. And it's such a shame. It's such a shame, and it's such a fall from grace, really. Not just for Brewdog, but for all of the breweries I've mentioned today. And the end result is, the end point to all of this, I'm going to finish on this, is this point here. Ask the greengrocer how much help they got from the supermarkets. Ask the butcher how much help they got from the supermarkets. Ask the milkman or the person producing milk how much help they've had from the supermarket. I produced a video just yesterday and I put it on YouTube with my concerns for the craft beer, the independent bottle shops and some of the independent breweries, with all of this now, like, in brackets, £3 can craft beer. And the answer is they won't help the independent bottle shops, like they didn't help the greengrocer, like they didn't help the butcher, like they didn't help the milkman, the milk producer. It's a lack of craft. It's a lack of craft, and it's just a channel. It's just a kind of a lazy way of calling something craft beer when this is an absolute shadow of its former self. Brewdog, I mean, Mikkeller have jumped into bed with them. I'm going to mention Mikkeller. I've had some decent beer from Mikkeller, but they seem to be producing lots of beer from the supermarket recently. And of course, now we got Cloudwater. Rating for this beer. Sorry for the long drawn out video here, but I just really wanted to kind of talk about the subject for quite a long time, because I'm just fed up with it, really. I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with. I got a box of great beer. I got a box of great beer down here, sent to me from a wonderful, wonderful independent craft bottle shop, and it's some of the best cans going. It's some of the best cans you'll ever want to try. It's amazing craft beer, but I can't get to it. I can't get to that beer because of the amount of supermarket beer that's just landing in the supermarkets. And maybe I should just stop. Maybe I should just go, I'm leaving this rat race. I'm leaving this supermarket rat race of chasing beer, and I'm going to start drinking the beer that I want to drink. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. Rating for this Urban Fog Brewdog versus Mikkeller. It's just really bland. It's like an apple from Asda versus an apple from your local apple orchard. Or it's your lump of cheese from Asda, Sainsbury's in this case. Sainsbury's versus a lump of cheese from an independent cheesemaker. Or it's a really good sausage from a butcher down the road versus a sausage from Sainsbury's. You know, there's a difference. There's a difference, and that's independence. It's a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Sorry for the long video. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!